Hey everybody, just a quick log to clear up some fake news by mainstream media regarding the Oakland Athletics, Las Vegas ballpark, and financing, among other things. First of all, the process to get to the financing is being formed. Once each step of that process is done, the financing will be done, but for all practical purposes, it's secured. There are some who are fearing this Nevada Supreme Court issue. Look, 12% chance that that matter has any way of impacting the path of the bond issue, because generally it's 12% probability that any appeal makes it out of the court of last resort. That's just a fact. So on top of that, it's the nature of their argument and the idea that this is unconstitutional. Because if that's unconstitutional, then the original rate of bond issue is unconstitutional. It's structured precisely the same way. So it's absolutely ridiculous. It's more rabble-rousing to create uncertainty. The Athletics themselves, I believe, are overreacting, but the idea is better safe than sorry from their perspective. I get it. But the bottom line is, when the Las Vegas Stadium Authority starts, again, they will begin to approve by my estimation, at the end of the day, 34 different documents that are required for the financing to be set and in place. Most notably among them is the non-relocation agreement between Stadco and the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. That's different than the original one, but the bottom line is it has to be signed. And the Athletics have shown every desire to sign it and move forward. Not a problem. It's just a matter of the formality of getting to it. And then also there are other agreements. Agreements like who sits on the benefits dispersal committee, a small one, large agreements having to do with the setting up of these different funds, the restructuring of Las Vegas Stadium Authority in full, which hasn't happened because you don't have the different budget fund sources in place because the Stadium Authority hasn't voted to approve them. All right. So all of that has to be done yet. And what's happening is you have people who are from the mainstream media who believe that everything should be like they're building a house. And that's not how it works. This is a very complex process that deals with very, very large buildings and very, very complex structural patterns and plans. All this calls for a patience and an interest in the process. The trouble is we've had too many people between politicians and media who don't understand what they're looking at, don't understand what they've gotten themselves involved into, particularly in the Oakland case, because they make, in the case of the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority in the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda, way too many decisions, rather than the simple oversight decisions that, say, the Nevada legislature has. The Nevada legislature is not supposed to know every minutia and every detail of what they do. They're supposed to know enough that it's safe to do. And that's what a lot of people don't understand when you jump on the assemblywoman, for example, for not knowing this or that. Okay? It's not really her job. Her job is to have a rudimentary understanding of what's going on, and she's proven she's done that. And she gets it, okay? That's all you need. But back to the main point. I don't care how much somebody claims to know, who they're talking to spins them. And there are a number of people in media who claim that they never get spun, but they're spun all the time. And remember, we've had 2 cracks at this as a media in the Bay Area. First with the Raiders, well, technically 3. First with the Warriors, then with the Raiders, and now with the A's. Because the Warriors are staying in, the criticism was non-existent. But if the Warriors, say, were the ones to decide to move to Vegas, they would receive the same kind of treatment. No one likes what's happening here, but what you should like even less is the fact that the city of Oakland, in a year, has done nothing to demonstrate that it really wants to have an expansion team for Major League Baseball. Oakland Mayor Shantel has worked to create an enemy of Major League Baseball. There's no other way to put it. In fact, that really extends to all of sports in the way that they've done it. This kind of myopic and yet silly reaction regarding sports, like the county saying we don't want to be in the sports business when it's in the facilities business, is nonsensical. It's shameful that public officials would allow themselves to act in a way that is simply way too rudimentary. But and borderline insane, because we keep on behaving the same way. It doesn't matter whether it's a large organization like the Raiders or the Athletics or a small one like the Oakland Roots. It's still over-politicized, or the Oakland Ballers for that matter. It's still over-politicized and handled at the top by the wrong people. We need a professional staff that's not elected. The electeds take their oversight role, and that's the way it should be. Subscribe to Zinni62 on YouTube. Bookmark NFL News by Zinni62.com. And be sure to subscribe here for our coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft. Thank you.